Good evening and welcome to the February 28, 2023 regular session meeting of City Council. If you're with us tonight and would like to address council, please register with staff in the lobby. Please indicate item I for matters germane to City Council if the item you wish to speak on is not on the agenda. As to our light system, it's a 3-minute system, and on our podium, that's what we're going to use if you want to address council. After stating your name and address, the green light will appear. After 2 minutes, the yellow light will appear, and after 3 minutes, the red light will appear. And we ask that you take your seat. Written remarks may be handed to the city clerk to be made a part of the record. The city code identifies the procedure for citizen participation regarding items on tonight's council agenda and provides the opportunity for citizens to address city council on matters that are germane to the business of the council. Matters that are germane to council means matters that the City Council, by law, is empowered to act upon. This does not include announcements that are personal to you, your business, or your organization, including campaign information. Copies of the city ordinance regarding citizen participation can be found at the desk in the lobby. If you intend to address council this evening, please pick up and review a copy of that ordinance. At this time, we ask that you silence your phones. Prior to beginning the business portion of the meeting, Pastor William J. Spencer with First Baptist Church Morrison will provide an invocation to the council. Afterwards, Councilman Long will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. It is the practice of the council members to stand for the invocation and Pledge of Allegiance. Those who also wish to stand are welcome, but are under no obligation to do so. Thank you.
Let us pray. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, the creator and sustainer of all that is or will ever be. We give you thanks for this day, and we give you thanks for all of your blessings. We give you thanks for your grace, but not only that, we give you thanks for your mercy. We give you thanks for our mayor, our city council members, and all who make up this legislative body. We ask that each one of them may feel their responsibilities to this council, to this community, and the citizens of Newport News. Continue to bless the work of our mayor and city council members as they labor diligently, fulfilling the assignment that has been entrusted to them. Keep them well, keep them focused, and keep them humble, that they may continue to serve this city with the spirit of excellence. We pray for the bifocals of faith, so that they can see the concerns of right now, but also see further on in the distance your purpose in working out your plan in this city that you have made. We pray for their ability to see at close range the current needs of the citizens, the issues at hand with this city, but we also pray for their ability to see in the distance so that they may look with new vision for bigger and better for our city. Grant them all that they need to carry out their purpose. And now unto him who is able to do all things well, we ask now for your presence in this city council meeting. We ask that you guide the hearts and minds of our city council as they conduct the business at hand. Bless now this meeting tonight is our prayer, that we petition in the only name that matters, that name that is above every name. It is in that name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Will you join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. This evening, there are no public hearings on our agenda. We will now continue to the consent agenda. Item F contains the following items. Page 4, minutes of the special meeting, City Council retreat of January 14th, 2023. Page 24, minutes of the work session of February 14th, 2023. Page 69, minutes of the special meeting of February 14th, 2023. Page 73, minutes of the regular meeting of page 73, minutes of the regular meeting of February 14th, 2023. Page 109, resolution of appreciation for Dr. McKinley L. Price. Page 113, resolution of appreciation for Sharon P. Scott. Page 117, Resolution of Appreciation for Dr. Sandra N. Cherry. Page 121, Resolution of Appreciation for David H. Jenkins. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda, items F1 through F8, all inclusive?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mayor Jones.
4.
Councilman Long.
4.
Councilwoman Vick.
4.
Councilwoman Woodbury.
4.
Vice Mayor Bethany.
4.
Councilman Ely.
4.
Councilman Harris.
4.
Motion carried, 7-0.
Next on our agenda, other city council actions, page 124, item G1, Madam Manager.
First item is a request to adopt an ordinance to amend ordinance number 7826-22 to readopt the budget and appropriated funds to operate the City of Newport News for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2022, and ending June 30th, 2023 inclusive, and I recommend approval.
Is there a motion to adopt the ordinance?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mayor Jones.
4.
Councilman Long.
4.
Councilwoman Vick.
4.
Councilwoman Woodbury.
4.
Vice Mayor Bethany.
4.
Councilman Ely.
4.
Councilman Harris.
4.
Motion carried, 7-0.
Page 129, item G2, Madam Manager.
A request to adopt an ordinance to amend and reordain City Code Chapter 2, Administration, Article 4, Employee Benefits, Division 1, Generally, Section 2-94, Holidays, and I recommend approval.
Is there a motion to adopt the ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mayor Jones.
4.
Councilman Long.
4.
Councilwoman Vick.
4.
Councilwoman Woodbury.
4.
Vice Mayor Bethany.
4.
Councilman Ely.
4.
Councilman Harris.
4.
Motion carried, 7-0.
Page 133, item G3, Madam Manager.
It's a request to adopt an ordinance to amend and reordain City Code Chapter 6, Animals and Fowl, Article 2, Dogs and Cats Generally, Division 3, Dangerous or Vicious Dogs, and I recommend approval.
Is there a motion to adopt the ordinance?
Move it up.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mayor Jones.
4.
Councilman Long.
4.
Councilwoman Vick.
4.
Councilwoman Woodbury.
4.
Vice Mayor Bethany.
4.
Councilman Ely.
4.
Councilman Harris.
4.
Motion carried, 7-0.
Page 136, item G4, Madam Manager.
It's a request to adopt an ordinance to amend and reordain Chapter 19, Solid Waste, Litter, and Recycling, Article 8, Illegal Dumping, Section 19-81, Penalty for violation of this article, and I recommend approval.
Is there a motion to adopt the ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mayor Jones.
4.
Councilman Long.
4.
Councilwoman Vick.
4.
Councilwoman Woodbury.
4.
Vice Mayor Bethany.
4.
Councilman Ely.
4.
Councilman Harris.
4.
Motion carried, 7-0.
Page 138, item G5, Madam Manager.
This last one is a request to approve a resolution approving the city's participation in the proposed settlement of opioid-related claims against Teva, Allergen, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, and their related corporate entities, and directing the city attorney to execute the documents necessary to effectuate the city's participation in the settlements, and I recommend approval.
Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Yes, I would like, is this, as I understood it from the beginning, this is under a huge umbrella of cities?
I'm going to defer to the city attorney.
Okay,
This is the Virginia Attorney General's office is
Right.
coordinating this with the other localities in Virginia. The council adopted an earlier resolution dealing with certain of the earlier settlements, and these are some of the later ones. But we need the authority to
Right.
enter these.
That's
But there
why-
are restrictions on the funds that we get from it. They have to be used for opioid abatement-related purposes.
who checks on that?
On certain of these, they have the right to come in and audit it.
Okay.
Okay.
Good, thank you.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Mayor Jones.
4.
Councilman Long.
4.
Councilwoman Vick.
4.
Councilwoman Woodbury.
4.
Vice Mayor Bethany.
4.
Councilman Ely.
4.
Councilman Harris.
4.
Motion carried, 7-0.
Appropriations, page 142, item H, Madam Manager.
Yes, we have one appropriation, and it's a request to approve a resolution appropriating $749,996 in Federal American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA funds, to purchase law enforcement technology and equipment, and I recommend approval.
We have one speaker on the item, Mr. Clayton Ty.
Members of City Council, my name is Clayton Ty. My address is 12733 Sand Pebble Circle. I ask that you publicly deliberate this resolution as the background information provided in the agenda item was ambiguous. The grant was applied for before many of you took office, and I believe it deserves your attention. From what I've gathered, the city was singled out as a recipient along with several other localities in Virginia. But do we really need the grant? Our police department already has ShotSpotter, drones, real-time crime center, body cams, traffic cams, a partnership with Ring, and several other technologies not publicly known. All of these technologies have contributed to our highly touted closure rate. Mayor Jones, you said on the campaign trail that our city was asset-heavy, strategy poor. The same can be applied to the Newport News Police Department. Yet we want more cameras in neighborhoods already heavily surveilled. Now it seems the city is actively crossing into Orwellian territory. The verbiage addressing related violence before it occurs is alarming. What does that even mean? Cell phone geomapping sounds awfully similar to geofencing, which is found unconstitutional by a federal court in Virginia. Residents' Fourth Amendment rights don't vary from one neighborhood to the next. I ask you to address more of what this grant will entail. I also ask for assurance to our community that this will be legal and beneficial, not just a grant we felt obligated to apply for due to our name being on it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Do we have any more discussion? I'm sorry, do we have any more speakers? No? Is there a motion to approve item H1?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? I have some discussion. Can you speak to the legal aspect of the grant?
As far as I know, it's legal. I have not reviewed the actual grant application itself. I believe staff.
Yeah,
Well
I'm
done.
not even sure where we'd be coming from to say what it wasn't legal.
Okay.
I mean, I certainly have the police chief here if you wanted some more specifics, but
Yeah, that'd be helpful. Fable.
Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, the grant was, as we talked about violent crime and gun violence, that's a lot of what the technology will be used for, comparing ballistics to one location to another. It does help with some of the drone advancements, some of the vehicles that we have that will be outfitted. A lot of it ties into our real-time crime center that sends information if an individual were to come to City Hall or wherever and make some type of threat, that we can send that information straight to officers, and officers who see information can send it back to the crime center. It also helps us communicate much more efficiently and quickly, time manner to our other surrounding jurisdictions. We know the crime doesn't have boundaries and it moves across back and forth. So those are the things. There were 6 or 7 cities that were looked at by the state at Richmond that they came down and looked at some of the concerns. The governor came down as well. We met over in Norfolk a little over a year ago and talked about how it was what they were trying to do to address some cities that were struggling with some gun violence, and that is the process that we were a city that was selected and encouraged to put in for the grant. We still had to put in for it and lay out what those items would be and what it would be used for.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
I'd like to just say, though, I think that when we have 6-year-olds shooting their teachers, we do have a balance problem, and we need to have every available strategy to address it.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
And
So I support it
Yes, ma'am.
totally.
Thank you, ma'am.
And I just wanted to say, as it relates to any cameras, usually as a locality, we're not able to afford it. But with that American Rescue Plan money, those were some additional federal funds. So if we can provide cameras to deter crime, I think that is an excellent reinforcement for safety in our cities.
Councilman Vick, I would add, we have been talking with Commonwealth Attorney and other entities about also convictions and jurors today, right? Some people sometimes don't want to come forward, and having that
Right.
technology that captures it, allows that or reinforces it, but jurors want to see that evidence. One of the questions they ask is, where is the video footage? Where is the camera footage? And then we're able to help small businesses also with some technology that we can help them assist with buying some cameras for their businesses that might not be able to afford.
Right, because it's hard to convict people when there's no video, and then by the time the trial, the people who witnessed
Take so long.
don't want to come forward
Yes, ma'am.
to, say what they saw. So
Yes, ma'am.
I'm so much in support of additional funding for cameras.
Yeah. I will be in support of the same thing. Additional cameras will always benefit this community to help out the police and fight crime. I also, when I attended some of the use of force, seeing our staff, police be put in situations where if you had additional technology, it would help keep our police officers safe. So I'm in favor of more technology to help out the police force.
Is there any more discussion at this time? Call the roll, please. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Mayor Jones.
4.
Councilman Long.
4.
Councilwoman Vick.
4.
Councilwoman Woodbury.
4.
Vice Mayor Bethany.
4.
Councilman Ely.
4.
Councilman Harris.
4.
Motion carries 7-0.
Citizen comments. Item I, citizen comments on matters germane to the business of City Council. I will call each name in the order that it appears in front of me. I have 4 cards. Ms. Barbara Futrell. Okay. Sorry, Barbara Futrell.
I didn't know that was what that was about, because I wanted to speak on that as well. I feel like there is a problem with violence, but I feel like, for example, I've been trying to speak to Police Chief Drew about violence, abuse amongst the kids. He's not spoke with me. He's had his people at his desk lie to me, tell me he's not there. I spoke with the girl that was being interviewed by him personally that day. So I said, hey, tell Police Chief Drew I know he's here because he's interviewing you. So it's like, I'm a citizen just as well as everybody else here. I deserve my voice heard too. I've tried to speak to you, Mr. Jones, a couple of times. Ms. Phyllis, I don't know if she gave you the message. I still would like to have that meeting. It's a child being abused, and I'm not going to go in further examples because it's a child, but it's a serious matter that's being taken very lightly. The allegations was made by the own mom, and I'm a mother myself, and I don't take that lightly. So us as a community, we want to talk about putting more money in the police hands. I think we're wasting money. And me as a taxpayer, I don't feel like it should be put in hands of the police if they're not going to do right by it. If the police aren't going to do their job, if they're not going to talk to the citizen that's coming to them and let them know of the crime, if they're going to see crime in their front face and act like they didn't see it. For example, the detective that came to court, he knew that a guardian ad litem was trying to get him to lie on stand. And if him as a sworn officer, he's going to not say that that was wrong and tell on that guardian ad litem, he's going to brush it under the rug. That's a crime. I don't want to keep putting my money as a taxpayer in the wrong hands. And you do talk about violence with the teacher. Yeah, the teacher was shot. And I feel bad for the teacher. But also, the teachers are doing stuff to these kids as well. Abuse is abuse. It doesn't matter if it's coming from a child or an adult. It should not be ignored. And I have came to a couple of these people. I've talked to you. You were very rude to me. But for you to control the money that's being put in the hands of the city, and you're not doing right by that money, and he's being voted as city attorney, he hung up on me. But if I'm going to put money in your hand as a taxpayer, I expect you to do right by it and do the right thing. But putting money in these police hands and they're not going to do right with the funds, I don't think we should put more funding in their hands.
Thank you, ma'am.
And hopefully I can have that meeting with you, Mr. Jones.
I think we did talk on the phone.
We did?
We did.
But you didn't call me back,
We did talk on the phone.
as promised.
We did talk on the phone. Miss Levon Futrell? Okay. Christopher Fryman?
Go.
Yeah, sorry. He's not here. Christopher Fryman?
Mayor Jones, Vice Mayor, Council. First time up here, so I came here tonight about, it's a city ordinance 26-9.2. What it is it's an ordinance that allows Newport News to use 46.2-844. That's school bus stop arm cameras. I got burned by one of these, and I'm sure if I talk to anybody in this room here, they know somebody else that got burned by one of these. And this is what I mean by burned. Councilman Long will probably know a lot about this when I'm talking about here, but here goes. From what I could go back into the laws, in 1989, Virginia had an amber light law with their school buses. It meant that a school bus for 100 feet, if it was under 35 miles an hour, the bus only had to give 100 feet of amber light. If it was over 35 miles an hour, they had to give 200 feet of amber light. Now, in 1994, they increased the speed limit, the maximum speed limit of a bus from 35 miles an hour to 45 miles an hour. And then in 2001, the VDOT, the Department of Engineering, increased the time stop tables. It took the reactionary time that a driver needs from 0.75 seconds up to 1.5 seconds and also increased the stopping distances. Now, where I'm getting at that is we're not given the time adequately needed to stop for these school buses. But what would be a good table to use, and that would be, it's off of 46.2-830, and that authorizes VDOT to establish a memorandum, which is TE-306.1. That is when an engineer will sit down and calculate how much amber light notice is needed for their traffic lights. And the traffic lights boom across the entire road. So you're looking at 6-7 lanes. The idea is to have a light per lane so people can look up and also keep an eye. When you have a school bus, it sits lower than, it's on the approach, and you're supposed to be able to stop for that. If there are more than 3 lanes, you have a center lane that could easily be obstructed by any large vehicle or any large truck in front of that school bus. So where I'm getting at, I could go on for here, but there's something called trapping. If you want to see an example of that, it's on YouTube. It's QACPS, Quebec Alpha, Charlie Papa Sierra, Space Bus Patrol. That's out of Maryland. They only have a 100-foot amber light notice for their state. But that'll show a bus come to an abrupt stop, pop the arm out, and then if you're 2 to 3 seconds in front of that bus, you'll be trapped with one of these tickets. So if you try to contest it, I believe it is a $90 court cost, and you put your license at risk as well as your insurance. And to give you an example from the numbers I ran from what the city has collected on this, of the $4 million that with technology fees and everything coming in, only I think is 1.1 million of that was retained back into the community. So that kind of gives you an idea of no cost to the community.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Question for you.
Yes.
So is this a recurring thing, or is this one time that happened to you?
It happened to me once, and from what I can see on the data, Newport News was given a survey when the schools were trying to put this out by a company called Force Multiplier Solutions. We might have to play this video back. Go to the Justice Department, look up Force Multiplier Solutions. You're looking for the Dallas, Texas incident. That'll give you an idea how juicy this can get. But that survey was presented to the city. The city took it in 2019 and for the ordinance to be passed. The same hot spots on those surveys, from what I could collect from the data from the schools, is the exact same hot spots we have now. It hasn't improved anything, and I think Board Member Harris asked the question, I think that's what his name was, to the Director of Transportation. They said that the numbers have not come down for the stops, and mostly it's because the laws, so,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Pam Hall?
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Pam Hall, and I live in the southeast community. As a native of the east end of Newport News, I have watched the deterioration of the community due to the lack of concern by City Council. In my opinion, we always have to wait for grants or city excess of our tax dollars to put a Band-Aid on our issues. In 1971, Huntington High School closed, and we had no voice. 3401 Orchid Avenue is the final site of Huntington and should remain the final site. City Council has delayed funding for Huntington Middle School for several years, and now it is critical for the well-being of our children to have their own space. No community input was solicited on moving the school, and we should not have to accept the city's plan or further delay the rebuilding. Projects that impact a neighborhood should be approved by citizens prior to implementation, not when they have no choice. We must learn from the past so we don't repeat the same mistakes. We should not rewrite our edit history to what we want it to be, but write it as it was. As a citizen of these United States, I watch our democracy being challenged daily by governance, but governance should be for the people, by the people. Quid pro quo should not be the way government operates. Excerpts from the song Ball of Confusion are so relevant today. Only people talking about love is the preacher. Sale of pills are at an all-time high. Evolution, revolution, gun control, kids growing up too soon. Politicians say more taxes will solve everything, and the band plays on. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any more cards? Okay. New business. Our next item is new business. City Manager.
Just want to remind everyone that the One City Marathon is this weekend, and everybody like to put in plug for it. If you're not running or participating, certainly come out and watch the runners. That's all.
City Attorney.
Nothing, sir.
City Clerk.
Yes, sir. I'd like to extend condolences to the family of Mr. Gary Anderson, who died last week. Mr. Anderson served as Deputy City Clerk, Chief Deputy City Clerk of the Newport News Circuit Court from 1986 to 2019.
Thank you. Councilman Long.
I would echo that too. My condolences to Gary Anderson's family. There was a town hall meeting at Demi Community Center last month, and there were some questions that came out as far as the energy costs. Well, this weekend, amongst a lot of things we got going on in the community, myself and Delegate Shelley Simons will be having an affordability expo at the Demi Community Center for March 4th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. We'll talk about lowering monthly bills as well as update on what happened in General Assembly. Also, just want to comment, good luck to all the runners for the upcoming race. I wholeheartedly respect that, because every year I always said to myself I want to do the marathon, but I've never really taken the effort to practice to do a marathon. But excited for everyone that's going to participate, and thank you for volunteering. If you're not going to be running in the race, well, thanks for volunteering and helping out with the One City Marathon. That's it.
Councilman Vic.
Oh, yes, I'm very excited. I want to thank Owen Houghton for getting our marathon together. It will be an exciting weekend, but you do need to be aware of the traffic changes, the traffic pattern changes, particularly on Sunday for the marathon as well as the half marathon. I hope to see you all out. As you know, annually I do the 5K. I will be walking/jogging, so if you want to come and join, and I will be kicking off in the morning, so you know that's going to be exciting. I want to say hi to Christine that used to work in our coast department. She's retired. Hello. Thanks for coming out, and great to see you. It's such a wonderful to see you, but the other thing is that I am also very concerned, as many of you, about the crime. And Mr. Mayor and all of our council, we have been trying to, discussing, meeting with school board members and citizens. But I am very concerned that we need to hear more and have more support for the parents. I mentioned that as I campaign for mayor, I've watched and I've seen that when so many things happen with children, or shootings with young people, we will look at the police, we will look at government, we will look at the teachers, and nobody says anything about what we can do to support the parents. And I'm very concerned about that, and I promised that I would work on that to be able to hear not just what the parenting specialists have to say, but parents who may be needing help with providing the best support in their families. So I will be having a Councilwoman Tina Vick discussion on parenting. It will be on Wednesday, March 22nd, from 6:30 to 8 p.m., and we will be at the Brittingham Midtown Community Center. So I would like for you to join me. We want to express some of our concerns, come up with solutions, because the main reason I'm doing this is to hear from the parents, but also it's going to take our entire community to heal the problems that we have. And so I invite you out. If you need more information, please contact me, email me at tviccares89@gmail.com. And that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councilwoman Woodbury.
Yay, Tina, go! You can run for me. And I will challenge anybody else who would like to run under my name. I will even give you a T-shirt, and I'll urge you on and, cheer you on. But I'm not going to be running. I look forward to this weekend, though, because it is so good to see the community spirit that is built by this event and has built over the last several years. It's just great. And it means so much to our city to see this coming together and this wonderful opportunity to show your support. I know our church closes and we don't have our session until the afternoon. We wait and all try to stand out there and cheer people on. So it's important that we have these kinds of events. As for the violence and I just wanted to say, for 13 years I worked at Hampton University. I ran a clinic there and I trained teachers. And one of the most important things in research is that when parents and teachers work together on behalf of the student, the child will succeed and exceed expectations. So I think every time you can ever get parents and teachers working together, the child is going to benefit. That the research shows it all over the place. But anyway, thank you all for coming out tonight. Thank you for letting us know what you feel. And as I said, my shirt is ready. That's all I have.
Thank you. Councilman Ely.
I had the opportunity this week to be the guest speaker at Booker T. Washington Middle School for their honor assembly. So I just want to say thank you to all the parents that came out, the kids. I think over 90% of the students were on the honor roll at Booker T. So very well behaved as they walked into the school. To the auditorium, they heard not one sound. So the teachers at Booker T and principal, thank you again for having me there. Well put on event. Also, the One City Marathon, I was joking with Tina earlier, so I'm gonna run a 5 mile, but if anybody knows Tina, exercise with her in the morning, she will leave you. So I'm gonna do the 1 mile instead of the 5 mile. I think I could do that actually because she trained me for the 5 mile, but I don't think that's possible. So I'll be participating in the One City Marathon, doing a 1 nautical mile. Hopefully I get through that. And as far as crime in our city, I think Chief Drew and the community is doing an excellent job of trying to address the trauma, as well as the grant that the city had with some of the nonprofit, putting the boots on the ground, letting some of the community be a bigger part of it. But like Tina said, it's going to take the churches, the citizens, all of us coming together to take over the crime in our city. We have to want it. It can't be the police department wanting to resolve crime. We as citizens have to say enough is enough, and if we see something, say something. Thank you.
Councilman Harris.
Yes, and good evening, everyone, and thanks for everyone that is in attendance, that is watching online to get the information that was shared on tonight. I didn't get a chance to thank publicly during our last meeting because we ran kind of long last meeting, for everybody who was a part of our 6th annual Re-Up School Supply Distribution event. It was a phenomenal turnout. This is our 6th year doing it, and it's been getting bigger and better every year. We started off our first year with only being able to distribute 200 bags, which was good. But this year we were able to put together over 950 bags this year. And that's thanks to everyone that donated, everybody who contributed in some way, shape, form, or fashion, those that helped stuff those bags. It was just a phenomenal event. Then we were able to cap it off with the distribution event with everybody, young people in the community coming out, grabbing their bags, getting free haircuts. So I want to thank the barbers that came out. I said I'm not going to start calling names because I know I'm going to forget somebody, but just wanted to tell everyone who was a part of it, thank you to the people that work at the Denby Community Center. They were very receptive, and they helped us out a great deal, even staying back an additional hour or two just to make sure everything was done in order for what we had going on, and for those that stopped by just to be a part of it. So thank you. We still have maybe about 100 or so bags left, so we're looking to partner up with some people that may be able to use those, and we start to collect for next year, probably within the next couple months. Next, I want to congratulate and wish good luck to the Mitchfield High School girls basketball team as they go for a second state championship in basketball. As they were here not too long ago, it seems like they won a state championship, but they're going back to Richmond. And then for the Woodside boys basketball team, as they're getting ready to play towards a state championship. And then we have our young ladies from Heritage Indoor Track who are continuing to burn up the track as they won the state championship, I believe, the last 2 years, in indoor and indoor and outdoor. And we're looking at them bringing it back home if they haven't done it already. So just want to wish our young people here in the city that are representing Newport News across the state, wish them luck as they go on and do what they've been doing the past couple of years, and that's excelling in the classroom and in their respective sport. So let's keep them lifted up. And we talk about the gun violence that we have experienced, and this going on my 6th year on council. We continue to try to make sure we have programs in place, and one of the things I always would encourage those that continue to say they have solutions about it, get out, mentor, be a part of PTA. There's different organizations that are involved heavily with our youth that are looking for volunteers, and that's one way we could help. We're not going to make it all go away just by the wave of our hand. It's with us being active and being engaged in the lives of those that need us the most. So I think there's some spring activities coming up. Please look out. There's some volunteer opportunities available and mentorship opportunities available. Get active, get engaged, and that will help us all as a collective as we continue to try to do what's best for our young people and our seasoned citizens here in our city. And that's all I have, Mayor Jones.
Thank you. Vice Mayor.
The only thing I have tonight is to piggyback off of Councilman Harris. Woodside is playing tonight at 8, so I did not expect us to leave this early, but I'm going to try and catch that game. So please wish the Wolverines some luck. The second piece to that is the Apprentice School won their conference championship against Virginia Peninsula Community College. So congratulations to the shipbuilders and Coach Key for a phenomenal performance. I think they also have 20 wins on the season, so that's pretty incredible. So that is all that I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. I just have 3 quick things. Number one, my condolences to Delegate Mike Mullen. His young son, passed away this past week. The second thing is, I know when we talk about gun violence in the city, Mr. Ty, your comments were heard. I want you to know that. I have full faith in Chief Drew. I do think when we look at the community as a whole, I think we can all do a better job of being more engaged on a civic level. I think that's ensuring that people come to council, that you speak up, that your voice is heard. I think it's a multifaceted issue. It's a national issue. But from council and from staff's perspective, we're going to put out some guidance and give us a couple of weeks to sort of codify a plan. But we do want to tell you your voice is heard. there are some things happening in the community, and the leagues are taking the action to prevent anything happening in the summer. The last thing is thank you to staff and to Owen, everyone who helped prepare for the marathon. Unfortunately, I cannot run it this year, but I do want to give a shout out for next year. I believe is the 10th year anniversary, and I'll be running it. So would love to have people run it with me, the full marathon next year. Give you about a year to train for it, but really excited. Should be a good time this weekend. If there's no further business.
Wait, Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry. The Vice Mayor just pointed out, Owen, I didn't mean to call you Owen Harton. That's another Owen. It's Owen Miller. Thank you, Vice Mayor. I appreciate it.
If no further
Thank you.
business, we stand adjourned. Thank you.
Talk to me.